Welcome to New Stripe City, a YouTube channel for die-hard Bengals fans. I'm your host, Ace Boogie, and welcome to the new viewers and the returning die-hard subs to the channel. We do weekly interviews here and provide analysis on the latest Bengals breaking news. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. And if you want to know how to subscribe, there's a button below this video. And we also provide a link in the video description. So if you're looking for that, it should be there. New Stripe City is proud to announce that our channel has partnered with Fanatics, an NFL licensed merchandiser for NFL.com and Bengals.com as well. Through Fanatics, you can buy men's and women's and kids Bengals apparel and jerseys, and also help grow our channel through using the links in our video description. When you do that, it truly helps grow the channel, and we did this because it allows Bengals fans to not only enjoy our content, but also get top-tier authentic Bengals merchandise. So if you're looking to get a new Burrow or T. Higgins jersey or even a fresh hoodie or a hat, click on the link in our description. And when you do that, it helps support the channel. Hey, what's going on, Who Dey Nation? It's your boy Ace Boogie here to do a live before the game, pre-game live. Wanted to check in with the fans. Wanted to start kind of getting in the mode of doing these more often. But before I get started, I want to give some time to get everyone here. I got another big announcement. We're doing an Xbox One giveaway. So I wanted to give everyone that's listening right now all of the details, and those who may be new to the channel some of the details, so that you can win an Xbox Series 1S. Welcome to the channel. Just wanted to let you guys know that we're doing an Xbox Series S giveaway. That's correct. An Xbox Series S giveaway to one lucky member on this channel. I'm going to go through the details, but please be sure to tune in. So the first thing you have to do is join the NSC Flick app, then subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and then also retweet and like this pinned tweet that I have. And once you finish that, you're going to open the Flick chat and just comment on any chat the word Xbox. And once we get to 8,000 subscribers on YouTube and 500 people on Flick, a winner will be announced. And just so y'all know, this is no cap at all. So it's a Series S. They put X, but if you look right there, it's a Series S. So we also have a partnership going on with Flick right now. You can download it from your store. You join it. It's actually really dope. What it is essentially a sports group chat that allows us to run polls. I'll be doing and going live for games in it. This will also be a platform where you can ask me questions directly and get access to exclusive content. I did an interview with EDP. I did not upload it to my channel, but it is in the Flick chat. So you'll get access to stuff like that. You'll be able to ask me questions. You'll be able to provide insight for videos and stuff like that in the future. So this is for all of the people that make up this community that really just want to come together and have kind of a comment section in the actual app. It's pretty dope. You can also access all of our podcasts from the app as well. So it's very cool. And then there's breaking news and all kind of other cool features. It's really dope. Be sure to join the NSC Flick. The link is in the description. What's up, people? So it's your boy Ace Boogie. I'm back. They just recently released the Week 3 inactives courtesy of Tyler Dragon on Twitter. John Ross is inactive, people. Marcus Bailey, Andrew Brown, Geno Atkins, Trevion Williams, and Austin Seibert, the kicker. I'm kind of confused why we still have Austin Seibert on the team, but that's neither here nor there. Now, if you were in the Flick Chat app, which I have, I actually posted this the other day because Jay Morrison said that there was a huge possibility that John Ross will be inactive. It seems that that is the case. Ross has really struggled to really catch on. T. Higgins is actually going to get the start in front of Ross, which isn't a surprise and shouldn't be a surprise for too many people because, you know, we kind of saw that last week. And when Ross did not make an effort to actually go in and make that catch, I think that's what really did it in. But what I wanted to do here is open it up for any Q&A for you guys. I know that I did an interview this past week with my man, Lord Brunson, great Philadelphia Eagles YouTuber. Be sure to check that out. We kind of talked about the game. One big thing, though, is that we are going to have Mike Daniels for this game. So that is going to be good. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and get into some of these questions that you guys have put in for me. So I appreciate that. I also know that we do have a super chat going on for guaranteed answers, but I'll try my best to answer all of your questions as I can. But the other cool thing is in the Flick chat today, if you get it, I'm going to be doing like a live kind of thread in there. So a lot of people always want my thoughts on the game and stuff like that. So be sure to download that and check that out. So let me get into it. Let's see. Let me put some of these questions up on the screen. So Nandan asks, what do you think of our game plan? What do you think our game plan will be to beat the Eagles? I think the game plan has to be to air it out against them. Now, they do have some great corners there when you look around, especially Darius Slay, but they should go at those other guys who have not been as strong, and they should continue to do what the Rams really did last week against the Eagles with them having some success there. I think that they should emulate that, especially since we have a similar offense. I think that that's essentially what they should do. Mixon, they have to get him going. I think obviously in order to slow this game down, in order to give the defense a little bit of a break, they have to do that. They also have to limit what the Eagles can do on offense, force Wentz into making turnovers. He's off to the worst start of his career. This can't be the game or the defense that he bounces back on. I think that you try to jump out and stretch a lead at least 14-0. That will force him to start to make some bad decisions and take some chances like he did last week. So let's see what else we have. Is Bobby Hart still starting, D-Logis? Yes, he is. It looks like somebody has a couple of fantasy questions. So it looks like TBR Rakiz, I'm doing a Bengals fantasy team. Who should I put in? I would probably put in AJ Green, obviously, Joe Burrow, obviously, Joe Mixon, obviously. I think that you should also start Sample, which obviously he's one of the guys that's the only tight ends that we have. And then, of course, you have to set the Bengals defense or start the Bengals defense by default. And, of course, the kicker. But I think that you also should put in T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins, Boyd, obviously Ross is inactive. Maybe I'm not sure, what kind of setup you have, but maybe you could probably throw Gio in there as well. So, obviously, I think that those would be some of the options that you would pick there. Should you bench AJ? No, you never bench AJ Green. I think, and I don't know if I'm assuming that this is for that same app. So it looks like it's also from TBR as well. No, you're going to start AJ. Come on, man. Can't bench the GOAT. He's going to bounce back, I feel like, this week. Yeah, I think if John Ross is out, I think Tate is definitely starting. Also, TBR, you should probably add Tate to that lineup as well. So let's see. EDP. I hope you guys enjoyed the EDP interview. It was it's pretty short, but it was pretty funny. I'm not gonna say that EDP is a guy that, he doesn't have a filter and he says a lot of inappropriate things. So just be sure that you're cautioned with that. But for people that are familiar with EDP 445, you kind of know that, but just know that I don't, believe in any of those views or anything. But I saw that you guys had mentioned in the comments that you wanted EDP on. That was the way to do it. I didn't upload it to YouTube because I want to also have that exclusive content for the Flick Chat and also for some of my membership that I'm going to be offering here on the channel as well. The memberships will be going live as well pretty soon. But also the fact that some of that stuff would probably get my channel banned. So had to play that one safe. So I'm just reading through some more comments here. Do you think we try to run the ball more against the Eagles? I would hope so, especially if Fletcher Cox is going to be out. I'm not sure if he's out yet. From what Laura Brunson told me, it seems like Philadelphia Eagles kind of keep it close to the vest. And from what I just saw reported now on Twitter, it appears that Fletcher Cox, who was questionable, is active for the Eagles. So Fletcher Cox will be in this game. Javon Hargrave, I believe, is also in there. I'm going to look and see if there's anything else. Mike Daniels, we get back. And let's see, just looking around here to see if I get anything else. Mike Thomas will get some important snaps, it seems. Mike Thomas might be another guy that you might want to add to your fantasy team if you're doing the all Bengals thing. Yeah, I think Mike Thomas is definitely underrated. I think he fills a lot of roles for this team, and he's just been a guy that's been very consistent. And with him coming from that LA Rams system, having that relationship with Zach Taylor, this system was probably pretty easy for him to pick up versus some of the other guys that are still essentially trying to pick up the offense, AJ himself included. I think that you would probably expect that the most comfortable people would probably be Tyler Boyd from the receiver position, Mike Thomas from the receiver position. AJ Green and T. Higgins is kind of a situation where they're still learning. Also, Auden Tate, obviously he played in it a lot last season. So I think he's going to be another guy that's going to be very accustomed to this offense. And it looks like there's some pregame work going on right now with Gio and Joe Mixon from what I can see. So I'm very excited about this game. This has to be a game where the Bengals get out and go on the road and get a win. I mean, this is, if you were watching the EDP interview, one thing that he did drop is that he thinks that the Bengals could potentially win this game. He actually thinks the Bengals are going to win this game. And he actually mentioned a nice thing, like the Eagles haven't really beat the Bengals in recent history. And the Bengals all time, I think we really are favored in that all-time matchup history. So that was kind of surprising to me that we were that dominant against the Eagles. So I think that says a lot about this team and says that this could be an opportunity that the Bengals do go out and get a victory. And if they are 1-2 heading into Jacksonville week 4, this is a stretch where they have to win these games. They have to go out and get this and get to 2-2, because then they have the Baltimore Ravens. They have a big stretch of the schedule where it's going to start to get a little difficult. And there's going to be some games that we should have gotten when you look at like the LA Chargers game and stuff like that. Those were games that they probably are going to regret that they didn't get early on, especially with the stretch of this schedule. Now, if they can somehow win today against the Eagles and beat the Jags aren't a bad team. Don't get it twisted. They're not a bad team. Obviously, on Thursday Night Football, they got blown out. But you got to remember they didn't have DJ Chark, who's pretty much the engine of their offense. I talked to some of my friends, and I was saying that it's equivalent to A.J. Green being out for the Bengals. Our offense was completely affected, and they also have a decent running back there in James Robinson. And that defense, even though they got torched a little bit by Fitzpatrick, it's not going to be an easy game. It's not going to be a gimme one. So there's that game. There's the Ravens game that scares me based off of what happened with our defense against the Browns. Lamar Jackson being a shifty runner, being a guy that has destroyed this defense before. That's going to be a game that really tests the Bengals. I'm not expecting us to win that game. I'm looking more forward to the second matchup against the Ravens. But if we get those first two games, drop one to the Ravens, we're still at, I believe, 2-3 at that point, right? And then they get the Colts. I think the Colts is a winnable game. You can get back to 3-3, and then you get the Browns the week after that. So in order to get any of that momentum started for this team, today is a key game for them to win. And it's one where they have to look at it as a must win. You know, a lot of people don't have big expectations for this team, being that we're in rebuilding mode. But I think Joe Burrow and a lot of these guys are really ready to win now. And I think that Zach Taylor really has to step it up today and show that he can also put in some creative play calling, manage the game effectively, and really put his stamp on this. I mean, he's been abysmal in a lot of close games. He hasn't proven that he can win. This is going to be a big statement for him too. Like, this is not only affecting his future, but the Bengals' future with key guys as well. So they all have to get on one page and just show that, you know, this is a new era. They can win games, and I think that they can do it. Like, I'm not trying to be a homer or anything. I think that this is a very winnable game. I think Jacksonville is winnable. The Colts, the Browns, the next matchup. I mean, the Bengals almost won that game as well, outside of a key touchdown drop and some bad play calling by Zach Taylor in an important situation. And then you also have the Steelers, like that could be possibly winnable. And then Washington, Giants, Dolphins, those are stretches where this team can really take that next step. But it all starts today. We can't look into the future and say this or that is going to happen. They have to start it today. So With that said, I think that the Bengals do get a victory today against the Eagles. And in order for them to do that, they have to key on getting Wentz to turn the ball over, establishing the run game, playing some good defense. I mean, this defense may not be. We also had on Coach Minnick. This is going to be a defense without Geno Atkins that is going to struggle. It's not going to be a perfect defense this season, and that's not what we need. We just need them to make key stops, hold guys to 3 at some points, and if they can do that, then we should be fine, and we just have to keep converting every time we get into the red zone, make sure we get touchdowns and not settle for field goals, and I think we can do that. If we can score about 30 points in this game, I think the Bengals can get out of here with a win. So with that being said, I'll take some more questions. I'm looking in the comments here. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely. Do you think that Joe Mixon will have a good run game? It'll be tough against Fletcher Cox. I mean, it's going to be tough, but they're just going to have to try to establish it, right? And I think that we saw some things in the last game from Joe Mixon that we wanted to see and from Zach Taylor in terms of getting him involved in the receiving game. I would love to see that happen a little bit more today. Do you think the Bengals will trade Ross before the deadline? I think that it's funny because I did the crossover with Lord Brunson. He talked about how they need a receiver, and he talked about that he wanted AJ. But honestly, I think after this game, the Bengals should try to trade them John Ross. I mean, why not? See what they can swap for John Ross over there. If you could get an offensive lineman, maybe you do that. Maybe you can't get an offensive lineman, but I personally would use Ross as a potential trade piece for another player at this point. I mean, I'm not sure what the financials of it are. I'm not sure if we're committed to whatever it is, because obviously we didn't renew his 5th-year option. But if it does come down to that, if John Ross simply doesn't get his act together and is essentially going to be inactive for you every week, why not move that guy and get a piece that really matters to you, like a linebacker or a defensive tackle, if it is that Geno Atkins is going to be out for a while. Now, Geno did return to the practice field this week, and from what I heard and saw on Twitter, it seemed that he had his helmet on, participating in individual drills. That would assume, or we would assume from that he's kind of trending upward. However, we kind of expected him to be back by now, but I'm not a doctor. That's why you never really put predictions on anything, and I don't personally do it. But I think if Geno is back or something like that, that's possibly something that is in on that trade as well. And then the Bengals also looked at Snacks, which to me, it seemed that they had interest in him. They didn't get him in or anything. I think he's still deciding where he has wanted to go. He's got several suitors. He may have actually signed somewhere. If he has, please let me know in the comments. But they did look at Damon Snacks Harrison. But yeah, if the Bengals have a suitor for John Ross, I think that you move him. I think that you move him in the event that it helps you get a player that can help this team win now. So thanks for that, Antonio. Let's see. Also, don't forget we're doing the super chats. So if you don't hear your question answered, don't get mad at me. Sometimes it's a lot of them in here. The only way that I can guarantee it is a super chat. The Eagles can't stay with us in a 5 wide by Reed Murphy. What do you think? Yeah, I think it's tough. I think one thing that I was disappointed with in Zach last week is that he didn't take advantage of the fact that the Cleveland Browns really had a weakness at the secondary position. They were decimated with injuries. There were a lot of guys that were there that they could have taken advantage of that they did not. And I think that Philadelphia is a weak secondary as well outside of Darius Slay. I mean, there are some guys in the safety position that are suitable over there. I think Ronnie McLeod, I'm probably butchering his name. I think he's pretty decent, but I think you should target the guys that are weak. I mean, when teams would go against us last year, and I'm not going to name names or anything, but there were other weaker guys in the secondary that they went at. And I think that what you should do as a coach, and I'm not an NFL coach. I can't tell Zach to be an NFL coach. I'm a couch coach at this point, but I think it's pretty easy to say, like, most teams and most good coaches really just find a weakness in the team and really just exploit it. Like whenever we've played like the Patriots or the Steelers or the Cowboys, whoever it is, whenever they have a coach in there, they just really do a great job of exploiting our weakness, whether we have injuries in the secondary, whether we're thin at receiver. They really essentially align their game plan to really go in on that weakness. And I think that that's what the Bengals have to do. So if they could do that and take advantage of it this game, sure. One thing I didn't like is that even though Cleveland had a weak secondary, we decided to target their best corner, Denzel Ward, who's a great corner, top 10 NFL corner. Don't target that guy. Target the other guys. I understand. Now, I'm not saying to not target them at all, but, to have 3 targets maybe at that guy and, another 8 at someone else, I think that would be a better game plan. Let's see. Hey, Davis Martin, appreciate the super chat. Much love from the 407. Yes, sir. What's up, Davis? Let's see. Someone said they can't wait to see Sample play today. I think he's going to be good. You guys know on this channel, I haven't been the biggest Sample guy. I made a video on Sample this week. I reviewed the stats, and the man had 9 targets, I believe, last week and had 7 catches. And that was with CJ Uzoma, still playing a lot in that game. This could be a big game for him. This could be a coming out party. Now, one thing I think that I forgot to touch on, at least from the defensive side of things, that worries me with the linebackers is Dallas Goedert, I think his name is, the tight end for the Eagles. And then you also have Zach Ertz, obviously. We can't let those guys just run loose because they could potentially destroy our linebackers in the defensive pass game. So we're going to have to see these linebackers bounce back. Hopefully they can. And we have to see a commitment against the run, or else Miles Sanders can really do some scary things in space. So we've got to get those guys down. And I think, one thing that scares me is Doug Peterson comes with a wealth of experience. This is a guy that really has a ton of experience, has outcoached Bill Belichick in a Super Bowl before. He's going to probably come in here and establish the run and try to take advantage of any weakness that we have. As I kind of talked about earlier, that's what good coaches do. So this is a big game for Zach because it's going to be chess. It's going to be chess. He's going to have to go against this guy. Yeah, Sample's OBJ catch definitely surprised me. Keegan Hamlin, for sure. For sure. Well, with that being said, man, I'm appreciating all of the love that we have in here. Like I said, be sure to check out the Flick Chat. I'm definitely going to be in there today. And as you guys know, I always do my pregame video. So this will probably count as my pregame video. I'll try to do one at halftime. I'll try to do one at the end. And hopefully later tonight, we'll be getting together with Zim and we'll try to do a reaction video. I really like doing those right after the game because you get the raw emotions of me and Zim. Like you really get how we felt about the specific game and how things went. And there's also tons of other things that I'm doing. So if you're into Fanatics and you want to buy Bengals merch and stuff, please be sure to start to use my link for that because it really helps grow the channel. And then you get dope, authentic, like Bengals gear. Like I know some people feel like, they might like the lesser costing jerseys, but just know when you do that and you go to those sites that you're not getting authentic stuff. Some of the material, you kind of get what you pay for. Like some of the stitching and stuff comes undone quicker. I've made that mistake before. I'm not even just telling you guys to just shop with me. I'm just saying to just do it for your own good because I got a Ray Maluga jersey way back in the day. I know that's pretty ironic. But my brother got me a Ray Maluga jersey and it wasn't authentic and it started to unravel and, I don't even have it anymore versus a Chad Johnson jersey that was older than that I still have that is still in better shape than that. So just think about that. And then I've also gotten jerseys before that were 2 different types of material. So like I said, just be careful with some of those websites out there. Like I literally had one part of a material that was like a legit jersey. And then like the rest of it was like iron on. It was like a stitched iron on jersey mixed together. Like I wish I still had it so I could show you guys, but just be careful with some of those things, man. But like I said, I will make sure that I keep you guys up to date in those areas. We're trying to make this this thing go to the moon. Obviously, we're at 6,000 subs. We had the AJ video, so grateful for you guys for supporting. But I feel like we can do better than that. You know, I look around at these Browns channels, these Steelers channels, Cowboys, Eagles, you know, all of them, Jags, Dolphins. We got to get this community up to let people know that we are, you know, a big fan base. We do support this team. We're crazy about our Bengals. We're diehard. So if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. If you haven't told your Bengals friends about it, let's do it. Let's make this as big as possible. Let's let people know that the Bengals can be a team that's big nationally. If they're not going to talk about us on ESPN and everything, let's bring it up on YouTube. So let's make sure that we get any unbiased and you know, BS opinions about the Bengals. That's what I'm here to do, is to bring it on here. And if you guys have any thoughts on, you know, other Bengals channels that I should bring on, or YouTubers or anything, please feel free to leave that in the comments as well. But as usual, I will leave you guys with a who day, all day, every day, and especially on Sunday.